Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing a story with you guys that happened about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. Some tea, you guys, so we're just gonna spill some tea. Before I start though, I have been noticing a trend with, my videos. It's my outfits. I'm literally wearing a sweatshirt and leggings in them every single time. So I decided this video I would change it up. We're gonna spill some tea. So in my school, we have free periods and study halls. If you're a freshman or a sophomore, you get study halls, which basically means that you have to go to a classroom. You can do whatever work you want. It's like a free for all, whatever. As a freshman or sophomore, the only way that you can leave a study hall is if you have a library pass. And the only way you can get a library pass in our school is if you get one of your teachers to sign off on it. Then you can show it to your study hall teacher and go to the library. Me, as a sophomore, had study halls, so I would always get a library pass. Unfortunately though, to get a library pass, you need to have work that you're doing for that specific class. So if I went up to my English teacher and was like, can I have a library pass? There would need to be a reason she was giving me a library pass, like to do an essay or to work on this or do this, this, and this. Whatever teacher I was getting the pass from, we were doing some sort of work in that class. It was the day before winter break. I was super excited. I was in the holiday spirit. I was like, break, I can't wait for Christmas, like New Year's, like let's go. It was a half day. I was literally living my best life that day. I get to my study hall. In this specific study hall, there's also a little bit of background. But this one specific teacher, the first day of the study hall, I could not find the study hall room on my schedule. It took me a very long time to find it. Once I finally found the room in a little hallway that I literally forgot existed, I finally got there and I saw on the door that it was like study hall moved to this room. And the room that it was moved to was across the school. Like I knew I was gonna be late. Sped walked my way down to the other study hall room. As I'm walking down these stairs, I get a notification on my phone and it tells me that I have a cut for my study hall. The bell had rang as I was walking down the stairs, and within 2 seconds of the bell ringing, I was marked cut in my study hall. In my school, if you're more than 15 minutes late, that's a cut. Anything else, if you're 5 minutes late, I'm pretty sure anything after 5 minutes is a tardy. But no, I got a full-on cut. And I was like, I go into the study hall room and I walk up to the teacher and I was like, hey, sorry, I'm late. Like, I couldn't find the room. This guy's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. You weren't the only one who was late. Like, I will change your attendance. The first day I had the study hall, I had a library pass. So I pull out my library pass. I'm like, hey, I have a library pass too. And he was like, oh, okay. And I like go to like show it to him. He's like, it's fine, go ahead. And then I come to school the next day and look into my power school and I still have a cut there in my power school from that study hall. So I emailed the study hall teacher and I was like, hey, I was wondering if you could change my cut. And he was like, I can't change your cut if you weren't in class. What? Basically, he told me that he never saw me, so I wasn't gonna get my cut taken away. Even though I had walked into class, he literally was like, what's your name? I said, my name's Ashley Thomas. He's like, okay, I'll change your attendance. I had to sign out on this little sheet in his room. Like there was evidence I was in that room. And I just like didn't feel like having to fight with this man over email. I just went straight to attendance. And then like I was explaining to this attendance lady like everything that was going on. She was so chill about it. And I was like, thank fucking God. Fast forward back to the story. It's the day before winter break. I get it down to this study hall. And I realize I don't have a library pass. There was work that I wanted to get done in the library. And in order to get that work done, I needed a computer. There was no computers in this study hall room. I didn't want to have to do work over winter break. The teacher that I need to get a pass from, I didn't have her class yet that day. I could have like gone and found her or like something, but it was also her free period, so I didn't know where she would have been in the school. I really didn't think that this teacher would have allowed me to leave to ask her for a pass. This study hall teacher, every time I've had a pass, has not even glanced at it. This girl who was in a couple of my other classes had a library pass, and I was like, hey, by any chance could I write my name on your pass? She was like, oh yeah, sure. Like, chill. It was chill. It was like not a big deal for either of us. Multiple people had done this before as well. Like if you sit in a study hall, you hear people being like, oh, let me make a pass real quick, like forging teacher signatures. Like this is like nothing compared to what other people do. So she writes my name on her pass. Neither of us think anything of it. He looks at it and he's like, okay, hands it back to the girl. So we both sign out. Me and the girl leave the study hall. We part ways. She goes to the cafeteria to do work with her friends. I actually though went to the library because I actually need to go to the library to do work. I signed into the library because if you're a freshman or sophomore, there is a sign-in book. So I go and I sit and I'm doing my work. Halfway through this period, I got a notification on my phone. And I look down and it says, you have been marked cut for study hall, whatever period it was, period 2, I don't know. This bitch did it again. I was like, okay, he probably just made a mistake again. Didn't feel like having to email this man. Like, I'm just gonna take care of this now and get it over with. So I went back down to my study hall. I just assumed that he like didn't think I was there again. Walked into the study hall and I'm like, hey, you marked me cut, but I was here. And he's like, So I'm like, can you change it? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, why?
Because you wrote your name on somebody else's pass.
And I was like, shit. Like my stomach dropped. I didn't really know how to respond at that point. I was kind of in shock. Can I just say the look on this man's face? I look at him kind of confused. He was like,
I emailed the teacher that you're not even one of her students.
He shows me the email of him emailing this teacher. So basically now this teacher knows that this girl used the pass and like had somebody else write their name on it. So basically everything's crumbling down. I am beyond nervous. I have no words. I want to die. I don't really even remember what I said. I know I was talking. Like I did like have conversation with this man. Really so nervous that like most of it is kind of a blur. But I do know that this all happened in front of the entire study hall that watched this all go down. The way he handled this really just made me feel like complete. He made me feel like I had done the worst thing humanly possible. When in reality, like, ooh, you caught me going to the library. I remember explaining to him that I was in the library and that I was doing work. I signed into the library and he didn't care. The only way I can get out of my study hall is with a library pass, and I wrote my name on somebody else's, so it was a whole ordeal to him, and he was so proud of himself for, you know, catching me and this girl. In fact, I was gonna get in trouble for going to the library and doing work. I'm freaking out, and this is all happening in front of everybody. There's people from my grade that are watching this go down. He's literally interrogating me, like asking me so many questions. He's like,
I wrote you up to AP twice for forging a signature and lying to a teacher.
I literally just like accepted everything he said. I was like, okay. There was really no way for me to get out of this. I was like, I understand. Like, okay, I understand. I said that so many times. I was just like, this is how it's gonna go down for me. This is how it's all gonna end. He's like,
where's your friend? Didn't she go to the library with you?
You know, like trying to catch us in another lie. You need another ego boost to, you know, just send him over the edge. I'm like, I don't know actually. He was like,
what do you mean you don't know? You wrote your name on your friend's pass and then you didn't even go to the library with her?
I was like, I went to the library. My name is written in the library sign-in. Like, I literally was getting triggered at this point, but you know, I stayed very calm. Like, I was being so polite with this man and he was being so rude to me. I kind of been trying to cover up for this girl at this point because I owe her one. I wrote my name on her pass. She's getting in trouble for this. Like, I felt so bad. On top of me feeling so scared and so nervous, I felt completely horrible for getting this other girl in trouble as well. Like, so I was like, but I don't know where she is right now. She could still be in the library for all I know. But I came down here when I got the notification on my phone. It was a pretty good cover up, not gonna lie. And then he calls the library. Obviously she's not in the library, so I'm like, oh fuck. He's basically like,
you better text your friend and tell her to come down here.
So I'm texting this girl, like, we got caught, you need to come down. He's like freaking out on me, telling you to get down here. Like, he's trying to find you. He's calling the library to see if you're there. Like, you need to get down here. She's texting me, she's freaking out. She's like, oh my god, like, is he really mad? I'm like, yeah, like, I'm scared. Like, I literally remember texting her, I'm like, I'm so fucking scared right now. Because it's this older man yelling at a 15-year-old girl. I didn't want her to get in trouble for not being in the library. I still feel horrible about this whole situation. She comes down and she walks into the room. I cannot explain to you how badly he handled this situation. Handled it, first of all, not privately whatsoever, in front of an entire study hall. He like explained to her the emails. He explained how she got written up to AP as well. The entire time I was like apologizing to this man. I was like, I understand why you did. Like, I understand what we did was wrong. I'm so sorry. The entire time he was super smug. He was so proud of himself for getting us in trouble. So many worse things we could have done after, you know, 20 minutes of us talking to this man, and he's like very loudly, almost like he's putting on a show almost for this entire study hall. He's like, you guys can stay here for the remainder of the class. Like, I was already going through like my defense for when I got called down to AP. He really made it clear. He wrote me up to AP 2 times. He repeated that over and over and over again because he wanted me to feel like so I sit with this girl and she sees a look on my face, and I probably looked like I wanted to cry, and she's like, it's gonna be okay, like, I promise, like, take a deep breath. And I was like, I'm fine. We're kind of discussing like, okay, what do we do from here? So the next class I go to bio, and we were watching Outbreak. I had to ask my bio teacher if I could go down to AP, try and get the situation sorted out before the end of the day. It was the worst feeling in the world, like feeling of fear, sadness, nervousness. Like, I feel like if I went through a breakup, this is how it would feel. I go into AP and I'm like, hey, I just got written up by my study hall teacher like last period. She was very understanding and she was very nice about it. Usually AP takes zero BS, like, because usually if you get written up to AP, you did something bad. She can tell I am upset. Just explained to her what's happened. I'm like, I've never gotten in trouble before, so I just want to try and get this sorted out and see like what I need to do about it. She was like, don't worry about it. You won't even get called down until after break because it takes 1 or 2 days to process anyways. Kind of relieved that I wasn't gonna get called down that day, but also not relieved because now the anticipation of it was going to be all through break. This study hall teacher really just fucking ruined my day, my Christmas, my New Year's, and my entire break. I felt terrible when in reality I was just in trouble for going to the library and trying to do work before holiday break. Let that sink in for you. So I go back to my bio class and I sit. I can't even focus on this movie. Everything around me is kind of like, I'm kind of blocking everything out. My mind was racing. I was like, what do I do? Like, mind you, I also texted my mom like while I was sitting in the study hall right after everything happened and explained to her everything that was going on because I didn't want her to have to figure it out from getting an email from AP or email from the study hall teacher if he really was going to go that far. Kind of on my side. She was like, that's so stupid. Like, I was very thankful that she wasn't angry. I would have felt even more horrible if my mom was like disappointed or angry about it. The entire rest of the day I felt like I was going to throw up. I didn't really tell anybody else about the situation because I felt like I did something so wrong. It was kind of embarrassing at that point because I already was embarrassed in front of this entire study hall of kids, and I didn't want to like my friends to know about it, so I like kept hush about it and didn't really talk about it. Me and this girl, we kind of stayed in touch like over break. Like, we know what we're gonna say, like what happens at this point. We're just gonna take it. This would not be resolved until I got back to school. Like, I just wanted this to be fucking over with, you know, like I just wanted to get it done. Like, I didn't want to have to worry about it anymore. When I get back to school, you know, the feeling of wanting to throw up, die, everything, all of the above came back. I didn't know when I was gonna get called down, and I had classes with this girl, so we were like talking throughout the day and we're like, did you get called down? Did you get called down? A week after break, the semester switches, and mind you, I never had to go back to that study hall again after. Thank God. I decided just to check, you know, my power school, just to look at that cut that was, you know, gonna forever be there. And I'm trying to find it and it's not there. I text the girl and I'm like, my cut is gone, like it's not there anymore. And she was like, what? That's weird. I'm very confused basically. So needless to say, me and this girl never got called down to AP. Even though he wrote us up twice, he showed us the emails. He made sure to show us the emails of him emailing AP. So me and this girl never got called down. We have no idea why, how, who, what, we just don't know. In conclusion, yes, I did write my name on somebody else's pass. Yes, we weren't supposed to do that. But should I have deserved technically 3 different detentions because of it? Probably not. I would have gotten 2 detentions for getting written up to AP and also another detention for cutting class. He had no reason to mark me cut for that class because technically I was there. I'm such a rebel. I get in trouble at school for going to the library and doing my work. I'm really just a rebellious teen, you know what I mean? Disclaimer, I also want to mention, we were very mature about the whole situation. We understood what we did was wrong. Took responsibility for our actions, basically. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. Comment down below if you've ever gotten in trouble at school and why, because I want to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.